What's up?
When is Great Grandpa's birthday again?
I don't remember his birthday. Dun, dun, dun. I can hear you now. I had to change my headphone setting.
Yeah, I did too. It's always something. They're always fucking around with something.
Well, because I'm obviously going to wear headphones for this, so.
Yes. But I mean, they're always changing something between us doing this the last time and your camera's not on though.
Yeah, I don't know why. Because it's on, because it's recording my, my stream.
Ozark is really fucking good.
Let me see if I can do a quick search here. Because I've just got my stream saying that it's starting soon. So, like, it's not actually doing anything.
Just in case you start saying, like, racially motivated stuff. Little Jabba the Hutt's palace in the background. The green screen on this is terrible.
Yeah, if you put an actual green screen with the virtual one it's not good.
I had that one, but I didn't like it. It was one that like attached to the back of your chair, but it was so cumbersome. Yeah, none of these are any good. Oh shit.
Hey.
Ryan George.
Hey, how are you?
from the Printmaster closet. IG's here.
Can you hear me
from-
okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Is Kim going to be on too, or just
No,
the
no
three of
Kim.
us?
No Kim.
Figured.
She's got a sinus infection.
Sure she does.
I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah.
Not going to chase after people.
Yeah. Stop. Sinus infection / probably hasn't watched Book of Boba Fett yet.
Sinus infection / death in the family / busy doing TikTok. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work.
What's up?
What I've got going on my screen, because like I've got my own window,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've got you two on it, so it should work out pretty well. We will see. Did you check your settings and make sure you're going to record on a
Yeah,
good
I
mic
did.
and everything?
Yeah. Did that.
Because you sound a little tinny right now. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, no, so I definitely did it on Audacity. Let me double check on Skype.
It's the only reason I'm asking. Sounds a little tinny.
Yeah. No, fair, and I've messed it up enough times that it is a good question. Let me check on. I know on Skype I didn't change anything, so let's see. Yes, audio. All right, how's this?
Better.
Better. Much better.
Just double check. All right, cool.
Uh-oh. Now Joe's camera's gone. You got a big screen full of Ryan George now,
Nothing wrong with that.
with some helmets in the back that he hasn't sent me any of. Because I know he 3D printed at least one of those helmets back there.
Actually, everything but the stormtroopers 3D printed.
All right, I don't know what I just did here. I meant to just join the call. Yeah, I did. Okay, good.
Yeah, I just don't have a face anymore.
What is going on with my cam?
You guys make it through the holiday season unscathed, or did anybody get sick?
Oh, I got sick.
Oh, yeah.
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 I might be getting sick soon. My daughter may have been exposed.
Oh, really?
But I have had the booster, so hopefully it wouldn't be
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah, I got everybody here, everybody here got it except me. So it must be. I got the booster in like October, so I'm thinking that like that's probably why, because they got it a week before they got sick. But luckily it was mild, nothing crazy. But
Ooh, paint.
Okay, how do we fix this? My camera is on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody's recording from on top of the washing machine.
yeah, unfortunately, across from the subway. So I'm gonna have to
Tell them to knock that shit off.
constantly pause. Yeah, tell the MTA to stop.
Well, it makes it convenient for you, though, doesn't it?
Extremely convenient, but And luckily, like I sleep through anything, so it doesn't keep me up. But for something like this, you can hear it a little. Well, yeah. Luckily, it's a relatively infrequent train, so hopefully it won't interrupt too much.
Only once every 6 minutes instead of once every 4.
At nights and weekends, it can be once every. Well, the thing is, there's 2, so it's like once every 8 or 9 minutes. But you have 2 trains running once every 8 or 9 minutes, so it can be a little bit more frequent.
So you're gonna start like finding random times to show up wherever Joe's at and TP him and stuff, so he knows that you're alive and mess with him because he's so close to you now.
It's like right there, actually. Like, and yeah, now I'm back. I'm actually like, thankfully, at a job I enjoy being at because it was miserable this year. But yeah, I'm like right, like 2 subway stops away, actually.
Are you really trying to block your whole face with your microphone?
Yes. I'm just trying to get this. I haven't done anything with the setup or this desk. I don't know why they combined, but that's driving me absolutely batty. Uh-oh. Attack dog.
Is it the crazy one?
Crazy one I've got here, who's getting better. She's still a little weird, but like.
Is it time for her
She's-
Valium?
Well, it's funny. I went to the vet. I was trying to hoping to get them to take her off of it or reduce it, but he was actually, we need to put her on more because she's been like biting her paws and like, so her like the crazy behavior is better, but there's still anxiety. So I need to put her on like the maximum dosage basically of the Prozac. But she's getting better.
I don't want that. Oof, that's annoying.
I don't know what's annoying.
It won't let me switch my cam output. It keeps saying Chroma Cam. There we go. There we go. Am I back or no?
Yep.
Okay. All right, you guys about ready?
Yep, I have Audacity up.
I downloaded Windows 11. I'm not sure if I'm crazy about it or not.
Well, until it like gives me a reason to do it, like it's somehow going to improve something on my computer, I'm just going to stay with what I got.
That makes sense.
What I've got is working really well, so I'll just leave it alone.
Let's check on everything.
And Ryan's going to keep using his Mac
And-
with keys missing.
There's an A missing out of my typewriter. Have you been watching Ozark Run?
Yeah, I just started. We were on episode 4, I think. Did you start watching the new season?
Yeah, we're up to we just got through episode 6. Did you get to the episode where they have to go buy the heroin back?
Yes.
I interviewed that guy. The main guy, the guy that was sitting there playing video games.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, yeah. He did look familiar.
Yeah, that's Josh Michael
right,
from The
yeah.
Walking Dead. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And
Yeah.
there was a guy standing behind him that I'm actually Facebook friends with.
Okay. How do you know how are you Facebook friends with that other guy?
Just through the Walking Dead community.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
All right, we're going to do a little bit of listener mail. I'm going to talk about what we've been up to. Then I'm going to ask IG what he's been doing since he retired so he can plug his stream. And then I'm going to go to you and ask you what new shows you've been watching, Ryan.
Okay, cool.
All right. All right, IG, you ready to start?
Yes, sir.
Do I sound really echoey in here? Because it is kind of a big room.
Not really echoey. There is a little bit, but not really echoey. Not as bad as the other room before you had to set up all the stuff.
Yeah, that was really bad. But the ceiling is kind of high in here. I never really thought about it.
That's probably the amount of furniture and rugs and stuff you have in the room. You could lessen it with that kind of stuff, but don't worry about it. It should be fine.
All right, I just don't want the sound to be terrible. All right, 3, 2, 1, and record. Get that out of the way.
Yeah, I'm just checking to see if I had some spikes.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Ryan, you good?
No, I'm not.
Boo.
All right.
Error opening recording device, internal port audio edit error. Let me see.
IG, I still don't have a camera for you, but I guess because you're splitting between the two.
Yeah, I'd have to plug in a second camera, I think, and tell the stream to use one. I mean, if you really want to see me, you could just put on the stream, but you probably still only have one monitor running, right?
Yeah, I only have one. I don't have a reason for a second. I've been thinking about it. I don't know.
The reason is fucking because.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Then I'm calling you every 5 minutes to ask, like, how does this work and what do I do with that?
All right, I'm gonna have to change the. I think I have to change the folder that it's recorded to. Recording.
Let me kick this cat out of here. He's over there growling at shit. Come on, kitty. Want to go out?
Come on, Ryan, motherfucker's got to go to bed.
I honestly, let's see. I'm not sure where is export, select.
What's your IG? Send me a text to your stream.
Reset. Where do I select the folder to record to? Because I can't find that. I think that's the issue. I need to record to a new folder, but I can't find it.
That was weird. Skype just went out.
Oh, really? Oh, so you didn't hear anything I said?
No.
Okay, so I was asking if in Audacity, where do I select where to record to?
Should be in the
'Cause
preferences.
Yeah, I'm seeing Let's see. In preferences there's recording, but it's not giving me a place to interface, tracks, track behaviors for import and export.
Because it should just be using scratch drive. It should just be using dead space on your drive to do that stuff. I've got directories for temporary files. Maybe that's it.
Okay, let me see.
In the preferences, like under import export, there's libraries and directories. Directory says temporary files location.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay, so let me see. It says, let me just open up, restart Audacity and see if that works. I'll just do a test. Okay, so it's recording, but I'm just gonna make sure it recorded to that folder.
Well, it shouldn't matter because you're going to export it when we're done anyway to wherever you want.
Oh,
it to
that's
go.
right. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, that's right. I forget. We end up. Oh yeah. So then I don't know why I was doing that anyway. Okay. So then I thought maybe I had set it up to record to something else, but yeah, you're right. We just export it from there. So
I mean, it needs to have a scratch drive to do temporary stuff while we're recording, so it needs to have something. So I don't know.
Yes, I don't. Yeah, it's weird. Okay, it seems to be working now. So let me just make sure I've got the right audio set up. Cool. All right. Yeah. So I'm ready to go.
Every single time. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason. All right. Hold on just one sec.
He's doing something. Ryan looks so serious.
Yeah.
He's like, concentrate.
Still trying to figure out this. Is he still on, or did he get?
No, I'm still here. I'm doing
okay.
something.
Okay. Cool. Oh, okay. I see it. All right.
You wanted me to send him a link to my my stream. So he's probably playing with that. He's probably gonna, call me a transsexual or something there, so everyone can know. Sometimes I think Kim does not know how to respond to some of the things.
Yeah.
She's like, congratulations.
Well, I do say some pretty outlandish shit sometimes too.
Yeah, I lean into it sometimes when you do it. Though.
I know you do. That's part of why we work. All right, let me see if this works here.
And this will automatically be on YouTube and everything too, this way, and then obviously the finished product goes out to YouTube as well. So that'll be fun. People can tell the difference, though. Try and line them up and see how much different we end up.
Okay. There we go. I just threw it up on my Facebook page.
Aha.
Few Star Wars fans on there. All right, Ryan, have you tried?
Tried. Yeah.
I have a new window.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, record. Everybody good?
Good.
Yep.
Hold on, let me pull mine down. I'm not seeing peaks. All right. And you were listening to episode 149 of the Cinik Radio Podcast, and I'm your host, Cinik. And joining me, as always, my tribe of sand people, Igri and Ryan. And on this week's show, we're doing an overview of the latest Disney Plus jump into the Star Wars universe, the Book of Boba Fett, episodes 1 through 4. And we take a little bit of time to discuss the state of the MCU and the new shows that you should be watching during the pandemic via listener mail. Because we are the Cinik Radio Podcast. Like, listen, subscribe, but more importantly, enjoy the show. All right, guys, it's been a minute, so let's jump right into it. Our buddy Barry wants to know. All right, boys, Shang-Chi's come and gone. We've had the Eternals and even Spider-Man. And not a peep from you guys. No reviews. What gives? Well, guy, Barry, I appreciate the question, but it's been mostly my fault. I've been not in love with the things that Marvel have been putting out, and it's hard for me to write something that I feel like I'm going to be negative about. I like Spider-Man, and I believe that we're going to circle back around once everybody's seen it and kind of do a review of it. But it's just hard during the pandemic because not everybody can get to the movies at the same time. But we love doing this. We're going to continue doing this, and IG's even kind of got another project to enhance this. So we'll see where it goes. IG, the region Wookiee on Discord, wants to know, last time we all spoke on the podcast, you were talking about retiring. What have you been up to?
Well, I did leave my job. I'm basically pseudo-retired. I'm kind of going more into content creation. I'm going to be one of those nerds running around on Twitch and YouTube, doing whatever's interesting to me. Right now, it's mostly gaming, but we're actually recording this live on Twitch right now. So we're on there. It's twitch.tv/Jason_tries. You know, I mean, they all call me Ig, but my name is Jason, so it's Jason Tries. I'm just getting started on it, so the stuff is still pretty new, but it's coming along nicely. It seems like I've got a pretty good internet connection, so my stuff generally seems pretty smooth. Should be working pretty well. I'm really excited about it, and if anybody has any ideas of games they'd like to see me try, that's why it's called Jason Tries. I can kind of do anything I want.
I think it's the beginning of the end, Ryan. He's about to tell us, it's not me, it's you. Question 3. Peter from Morristown, and actually a guy I work with, wants to know, what have you guys been watching during the pandemic? Peacemaker is absolutely amazing, and will you guys be reviewing it? Ryan, what have you been watching?
It's kind of think, what have I not watched? I've watched so much TV and movies during the pandemic. Peacemaker stands out as something recent that I really enjoyed. I like the new season of Dexter. Definitely, better than the previous ending. Thinking of Yellow Jackets was good. I like Money Heist. Was fun. Lupin was really good. I forget if we talked about that or if that was out. Like you mentioned, the Marvel stuff has been hit or miss, especially the TV. But yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of stuff, a lot of really good stuff. But yeah, like Peacemaker is definitely the thing that like right now I'm loving. Like it's great, well written, hilarious, and I really hope we do get to go back and talk about it because it's just been one of my favorite shows in quite a while.
One thing that I saw just recently that kind of left me with some questions is the runtime for the new Batman movie. It's near 3 hours. Do you think that's a little bit excessive, IG?
Well, it could be very excessive. It could be way too much depending on how they pace the movie. Because if we look back at both of the last Avengers movies, Endgame and Infinity War, like they were pretty close to that too, but because the pacing was so good and things moved so well, you didn't even hardly know it was there. You were ready for 3 more hours when you were sitting there. So if they pace it right and they keep it interesting and they aren't spending too much time trying to beat a dead horse on something that really doesn't matter at the end of the day, then I think it'll be fine. But I am a little worried about it because I think the longest Batman movie to date is like 2:15. So it's gonna be long. But I am excited about it. I'm gonna give them an honest shot because this person hasn't been involved. The director hasn't been involved in the DCEU or whatever at all so far. So this is all new characters, actors, everything. So it should be pretty good.
Well, I know a lot of the streaming platform. Go ahead, Ron.
No, I was gonna say, I'm super excited about it, and like I'm the type, if it's something I really want to see, I don't like, no amount of time is too much time. So from what I understand, what the movie's about, and from the trailers and the director, who I think is great, I'm excited. And I think I have a feeling that the 2.5 hours or almost 3 hours will fly by. So I'm actually really excited about that, and that doesn't scare me away, especially with what I'm thinking the story is going to be. I think it can use that time, so I think it'll be good.
I think your dog agrees.
Yeah.
I just think with all the streaming platforms that movie theaters are going to become a thing of the past. And now I know that the production studios kind of pulled back and said, all right, this year they're all going to go 45-day window until they get to the streaming platform. But I think most people are going to choose to wait those 45 days and just watch it from the comfort of their house. I also like the fact with all these streaming platforms that they really could make anything a TV show. And even though it's in shorter increments of time, it does behoove long-form storytelling much better than a movie, and it doesn't take years to get it. 6 months and we got a new season of whatever. And if they want to split it up into parts, I'm fine with that too. But I'm loving some of this new content, and I really think that most of our entertainment is going to come straight to our living room in the future. All right, we have a lot of ground to cover, IG, and a little bit of time to get there. The Book of Boba Fett is one of the most adored characters in the Star Wars universe, but we know so little about his backstory. What can you tell us about this notorious bounty hunter?
Well, if you've seen the prequels, obviously Boba Fett is an unaltered clone of Jango Fett, right? And Jango Fett got killed in Attack of the Clones, so he had to go out on his own. And then we saw some more Boba Fett as he was young in the Clone Wars and in Rebels, and so he's been around doing some stuff, working with other bounty hunters that we know that also didn't get a lot of screen time, like Bosk and Dengar. So he's been around doing stuff, and then he showed up and he had basically 2 minutes in the original trilogy before Han Solo hit him in the back and shot him into the Sarlacc pit. So we've got a lot of dead space, but what that gives us is a lot of space for storytelling, right? What happened? Where did he go? What kind of things happened in that time? So even if we go further seasons, he seems to spend about half of each episode in some kind of flashback, which I love, by the way. Sometimes it seems like it takes a little bit too long, but I'm okay with it because it's Boba Fett, arguably the coolest looking character in all of Star Wars. So he's really got a lot of things that they can cover because he's got a lot of time that a lot of things could go on. Like there's a lot of stories out there that from the comic books, the Black Crescent and the big black Wookiee that showed up in the Book of Boba Fett so far. He used to work with him, do some bounty hunting jobs with him. There's so much that they could do, and I'm very excited about the possibilities. I'm hoping this isn't going to be a one-and-done series.
I really don't think it is because there's no big names involved. Unlike Kenobi, which I think is going to be a limited run and probably a one-time thing, I think Boba Fett's going to circle back around, and we may get at least 2 or 3 seasons. Ryan, do you feel like they've redeemed the character for the less than stellar outing in chapters 1 through 4? I mean, he was kind of just unceremoniously dumped into the Sarlacc pit by Han and Chewie in Return of the Jedi.
I don't know if I'd say redeemed. So it's weird because I think as a character, it's always been that he's relied a lot on how looking like a badass and capturing the imagination. So even though the kind of joke is that he went out like a bitch, he has always still kind of captured the imagination. So I don't know that there was a need to really redeem himself, because to kind of answer your question, if that was the case, I don't know that this show has done that yet. It's humanized him, and it's given him, you know, some pathos, and it's given him, developing a character. But I don't know that it's redeemed the guy that, went out on on like a blooper.
IG, in the book The Tales from Jabba's Palace, he basically blows himself free out of the Sarlacc pit using his jetpack, as opposed to the show where he just kind of burns his way out using the flamethrower. Which did you prefer and why?
Well, I think I preferred the way it happened because it seemed like it's more plausible. Because if he could have just used his jetpack and flown out, why wouldn't he have flown right out immediately after getting thrown in? So I like that it's going that way, although the use of the jetpacks by both the Mandalorians in The Mandalorian and the things happening so far in this make it seem like that jetpack is way more controllable than it seemed way back in Return of the Jedi, where it was just like quick little burst and go do something. I think the way he got out is way more plausible. So it's a little bit more interesting because I think he was down there for a couple of days at least.
Yeah, based off the acid and the scarring and all the injuries he had, he was definitely down there for a little bit, probably lost consciousness, better part of a day or two. But yeah, I preferred the flamethrower method. It was slightly more believable, even though he had to do a Kill Bill dig out of the Sarlacc pit up through the sand. I kind of like the way it went, and I like the Jawas just stripping his armor and cold cocking him after everything he's been through. Just how do you do for a capper for a completely bad day? Ryan, where the book and the show also differ, what comes next? The show goes down a path where he's with the Sand People, and we get a few episodes of flashbacks to where he goes from a water digger slave, basically, to part of the Sand People hierarchy. Is the fractured timeline story robbing us of being in the moment? And should we have gotten a full season of post Sarlacc Boba?
I don't know that we needed a full season of post Sarlacc Boba, but there's definitely something to be said for the way that they paced it. I don't know if it would have been better to just give the post Sarlacc Boba for 2 episodes and then give us what's currently happening, but it definitely takes away, because I find that I really like the stuff that's happening with the Sand People. Both from a story perspective and also just the way that they're creating an allegory for Native peoples. But then it takes a lot away from the actual the current or present day story, because it like very little happens. And it feels like there's no real narrative, because each episode, when we get the flashback, it kind of has a beginning, middle, and end, where the main story is just happening at a snail's pace and there's not enough time. So I definitely think it would have benefited. I don't think we needed a whole season of it, but it would have benefited from us just truncating that into the first 2 episodes. Like, let's just focus on that for first 2 episodes, and then we can get what's happening now. We don't have to deal with the back and forth, because I just think it kind of messes up the narrative. It just doesn't feel like there is a narrative because of that.
Yeah, muddies the water a little bit.
Yeah, IG, you spoke to not liking that you wanted to see more headway in the current story, right?
Absolutely. Because something's got to happen. Now, I think we're finally going to get some stuff happening after the last episode. There's some clues coming around, and hiring Black Chrysanthemum and taking on Fennec Shand as basically his major domo. Like, it's really going to start kind of heading off, and I think we're going to have less and less flashback stuff, because they told him that he's basically done in the Bacta tank now too, so he's not going to be in there just having dream time. But the back and forth sometimes was so much that it just kind of muddied what we were doing and where we were going. Now it's starting to show up a little bit. It's kind of like The Godfather, which obviously is a great movie. Both the first and the second part of The Godfather won Best Picture, so it's not a bad premise to take off of, but it's been done. So now we're just doing The Godfather in space.
Yeah, I kind of blame Lost for really making that storytelling more prevalent in television. I mean, Lost being on one end of the spectrum and Westworld being on the other. I mean, it falls a little more towards Lost, but it's not completely a discombobulated mess. Now, IG, based off the few episodes that we've seen with the Tusken Raiders, do you feel like they've been slightly misunderstood for the last 40 or so years? And do you feel worse about committing the Anakin-like genocide on them all those years in Star Wars Galaxies?
No, I don't feel bad about all the killing them in Star Wars Galaxies because they had good loot if you got to the higher level Tuskens. But it's any people living anywhere that other people come in, right? I felt bad when Anakin actually did it in Episode 3. I gained even more like understanding and compassion for them, like in the last season of The Mandalorian when they were encountering them there on Tatooine again. They show that they're just a people. They have their own language. They have their own rituals. They do their own stuff. And they're surviving pretty comfortably somehow out in the sands with just basic shelters and digging water out of black melons from the ground.
Yeah, I don't know how thirsty I could ever get that I would drink that water that they drink. That just looks like something out of a mud puddle. And then when they pop it open, there's kind of like smoke coming out of it. I think dehydration would probably be better. Ryan, Fennec Shan is a partner. He finds the master assassin half dead on the sands of Tatooine, just like himself. She died. She was resurrected. She comes back as Fett's #2 to help him get his iconic armor. But can she be trusted? And do you think there's a chance that she'll turn on him?
That's a good question. I was it's a little weird. It's like they kind of changed, like, in The Mandalorian, she basically said, like, she owed, it was like a life debt. Like, she owed him his her life, where in Book of Boba Fett now it seems like she's, there because she kind of wants to be there. And, she can leave if she wants. It would be a surprise, actually, if she did come out, because it just seems like nothing's been built for her to be someone to turn on him. But you never know. Like, I mean, that's the kind of character that I guess now I wouldn't be shocked. But I have a feeling it'll be pretty straightforward and that she's going to stick by him. I like her as his #2. And it's like I'd be shocked if it happens. But at the same time, that would be pretty good. Work.
IG, I did some research. Slave One, there really wasn't a reason behind the name, but we grew up loving it. In today's world where everything could be an issue, do you think Disney was just getting out ahead, out in front of something by changing the name of Fett's ship? And do you think it was necessary?
And it's funny, all right, so they're changing the name of Fett's ship, but they haven't given us a name. They haven't told us other than it's Boba Fett's ship or a fire spray. And fire spray is a class of ship, just like the Millennium Falcon is a Corellian freighter. There's a lot of things out there that use words that maybe people would get upset about unless they understand what's going on. Like in computers. I'm a big computer nerd. And you do something in computers where you link multiple drives together and one is a slave. Well, nobody's like trying to compare that to actual slavery. That's just the computer term. You have a slave drive. And, like other languages, black is a term that I'm not going to repeat here on the Cinik Radio podcast, but in Spanish, like if I said it to people of color, they'd get upset, even if I'm just speaking Spanish at the time. At least in America, because here is where it tends to be, the woke population more than anywhere else. And sometimes things just have to be what they are. I mean, if you're upset about a ruthless bounty hunter who's now trying to become the crime lord of a spice-driven planet out on the outer rim of a made-up place having a ship that has slave in the title, I think you're worried about the wrong stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we have Russia about to attack. We have China about to take Taiwan back over, but Boba Fett's ship is definitely the source of all our problems and needs to be changed right away.
Well, I think part of it, I think Disney goes a little overboard because there are certainly situations in media or pop culture where a change is necessary or does make sense, but something like this, where there doesn't really seem to be. I don't even think there wasn't. It's not like there was a group of people clamoring to change the name. Like even like that was like Disney anticipating it without actually there. It's not like there were people signing petitions or protesting the name of Slave One. So that's more almost an issue of like being overly cautious. And then that, again, like, talking about muddy in the waters, it then muddies the waters because then you can throw that out. And then, there's certain situations where it is useful, but if we're kind of censoring things like that, it makes the times when it's actually necessary, it kind of diminishes that. And so I think, that's the problem with it is like, no one was asking to change the name. So it just seems weird that there's like not a market for that.
Yeah, it just seemed like a preemptive strike on something that could possibly be a problem, but it was the word slave. I could see if he had slaves and he called it slave one, that would be an issue.
Yeah, like okay, it's like oh god, the freaking guy in Phantom Menace, it's kind of like the Jewish stereotype. The slaveholder, the actual slaveholder with Anakin.
Watto.
Like that's a character. Watto. Like that's a character that, maybe a character like that, not the best character for a number of reasons, but Slave One. That's kind of dumb, like to go after.
Ryan, Black Chrysanthemum has jumped from the pages of the comic books and into our hearts. What are your thoughts on him? Is Chewbacca about to take a back seat on our number one favorite Wookiee list?
So as a character, I know of the character from the comics. I didn't read all of those comics, so I don't know. I know that he's a badass. I know he's an amazing fighter. I don't know, and he looks great on the show, but they didn't do great justice to him. In the couple episodes we saw him, like, he kind of he beats the hell out of Boba Fett and the group of the group of people with the mods, but he didn't, he kind of went out bad, like by just happening to step, over the not the Starlight Pit, the oh god, my brain,
Rancor
brain
pit.
is not working. The Rancor Pit, and so he almost goes, he should know that. You would think he would know that's the one place you shouldn't stand in Jabba's palace. And then when he lets him go, he kind of runs away, and that looked weird. So it's like that's a character that's supposed to be a huge badass, and just didn't quite do it for me. So I kind of he looks great, and I hope he gets to redeem himself, but didn't do a good show for himself being an amazing huge badass.
I mean, he did roll over Boba Fett's whole crew, though. I mean, on a 1-on-12 fight, he kind of took them all. What do you think, IG?
And he did rip off a Trandoshan's arm.
That's
in
true.
the last episode, which anytime a Wookiee rips somebody's arm off, I'm on board.
Yeah. IG, being a Star Wars purist, I know that you're happy there's now a Rancor back under Fett's palace, but Danny Trejo, a little bit too recognizable, perhaps, as the Tamer. Did you enjoy the cameo? And do we really need Boba Fett riding his new pet?
Well, with Robert Rodriguez being so heavily involved in this show, it was a matter of time until Danny Trejo showed up. Because basically anything Robert Rodriguez does, Danny Trejo's going to get involved if it goes on long enough. It is what it is. Plus, seeing him coming up with the Rancor, I actually loved it because Danny Trejo is one of the coolest men that have ever lived. He's just an awesome guy. And as far as I'm understanding, he's like really down to earth and loves the fans and everything else and is very gracious. So why not? Let's put him in there. Is he too recognizable? Hell yeah, but I'll have Machete as the Rancor trader. Why not? Let's go. I think it works out pretty well, and letting him ride it, why not? Let's go. I mean, he's ridden other big things. If you go back to the original the Christmas special when he rode that big pink elephant sea monster thing or whatever, let's do it.
I don't know, man. I just think if it's done wrong, it's going to be a huge jump the shark moment. If it's done right, I'm down with it, but it's going to be a big chance. It's going to be a huge chance, and I don't know how they're going to pull it off and make it look cool. Ryan, it looks like war is coming. We have Shan. We have the cybernetic Power Rangers. We have Kirsan. Who else do you think could answer the call and come to Boba Fett's aid? Your rating for the first part of the season and your final thoughts.
It definitely has to be Din Djarin. Like the Mandalorian has to show up. I think you don't tease. In our chat, I texted like, which is true. Like, I got goosebumps when they played that theme, and so it's got to be him. Maybe he's there with some more Mandalorians. I mean, there's quite a few people. He can come back with, definitely not coming back with Cara Dune, who speaking of Disney being a little overly cautious, got rid of her. But I think definitely be the Mandalorian. I doubt that we'll see Grogu or Luke Skywalker, but could always hope. And he'll have a formidable team, so it should be fun. The first half, like this first 4 episodes, I'm mixed on. I think each individual episode I like, and I like the parts. Like it has a lot of really cool stuff. You mentioned like I love the scene with the Rancor and Danny Trejo. It's like, it takes you out of it a little bit, but like, of course he would be in that scene. Like, who else would it be? I like the world building. I like that they humanized the Sand People, and again, that kind of allegory for Indigenous people works for me. The even the dance, like, that people kind of made fun of, I kind of like, because it is like a haka, and he's from New Zealand, so it kind of it all works for me. The stuff with the train, like, there's a lot of really good things that happen. It's just that the story is unfolding so slowly and seems to be so kind of straightforward that kind of, like, I don't know that it's as strong as the sum of its parts. So far I would give it a 7, but again, the next 3 episodes could knock it out the park. And I think the big thing, it's like comparing this to The Mandalorian. I think The Mandalorian knew what it wanted to be, had a direction, and it had Baby Yoda. This doesn't quite have that, and it doesn't quite have a story to make up for it. So I'm just kind of hopeful that it will kick into high gear. And then look, if we have 3 strong episodes, that could move my 7 to a 9. But I guess it'll just be a matter of time to see like where the next few episodes go.
IG.
So I'm about the same place, right? A little bit wandering, a little bit muddy, a little bit moving around, but still, it's Boba Fett and it's Star Wars, and I love Boba Fett and Star Wars. And if we're going to compare it to other Star Wars properties, like, let's go back and look at the prequels. I'll put this far and away ahead of the prequels. I really enjoy it. I mean, there's just so many things that they have done that I really enjoyed, and so many things that they can do that I'm waiting for. Now, there are things that I'm not a big fan of, the mods and their speeder bikes, man. Couldn't they ride some stuff that looks like it belongs on Tatooine instead of like looking like they're riding Vespas down the middle of Venice or something? I mean, they're terrible looking speeders that they're riding. And they're not rich kids, because they're like complaining about how much money they're having to spend to get water from the water merchant. And they've got these bikes that look like they're all tricked out. It just doesn't make sense. But they could end up being really cool. One of them could end up being Dr. Aphra, like, from the comics. So I'm waiting to find out and see what happens with the mods. They're certainly interesting, and I liked watching them chase the mayor's assistant through the streets, even though their bikes were terrible looking. There's a lot of good things to be said. Getting Danny Trejo is awesome. I'm just really excited for seeing Din Djarin show up, and because he's got the Darksaber, really the other Mandalorian should have to be answering to him. So he might not just show up with the 3 other ones we've seen. He might show up with 50 or 60 of them, because if he shows up wherever they're hiding and he's got the Darksaber, like, they should have to follow him because he's the rightful leader, because he has the sword. I guess, getting a sword the same way that Arthur got his out of a stone, that's what gives you leadership, right? I'm excited, though. Like, the first ones, I'm probably the same place where Ryan is, a 7, but, we need to get all the parts together to see where we end up. So it could end up being a 9 or even a 10 if the season ends really well, but I'm expecting to end up around an 8. But an 8 for me with Boba Fett is plenty. I had watched 10 seasons of 8s.
Yeah, let me get out of the way a few things that I did enjoy. The cybernetic Power Rangers could have been done a lot differently and made them fit in more to their surroundings. Didn't love it. The dances with Tuskens, wasn't a fan of it. It made me cringe, if I'm being honest. And please don't ride the Rancor unless you absolutely have to. Other than that, I've absolutely loved the show. No IGN. Star Wars does not have a Tatooine problem. Fans have an expectation and entitlement problem. if you don't like the setting or the timeline, it's easy. Wait for a project that you do. Don't complain about every single little thing. I'm not a big fan of the Knights of the Old Republic, so I skip that content. I don't cry about it. I don't make a podcast bashing them for making the show. I respect that it is what it is, and it just doesn't resonate with me. The timeline is something that IG can tell you that I've been begging for years. After Return of the Jedi and the location of Tatooine, to me, is Star Wars, because that's where the story began and that's where it ended. The show is fun. The acting is great, although sometimes unintentionally hilarious. I'm loving this team up between Shen and Boba Fett. I beg them to give us a season 2. Filoni and Favreau are absolutely killing it. Please let them Kevin Feige the shit out of Star Wars and take over both the TV and movie end. I'm giving the first half of the season an 8 and expect us to come back around and talk about the upcoming seasons. So check in with us next week and find out what we think of the next episode and the episode after that and the finale. I believe that there's only 7 or 8. So we have, I think, maybe 3 more episodes left. We're going to get to Star Wars, and we're going to get to a few other things that maybe I didn't enjoy much. And we most definitely have to talk about the Peacemaker. So I think that's about it for this week. And IG?
Until next time, don't get captured.
All right. Close enough to a half hour there, tough guy?
Yeah, it's good. Because it'll probably get down about 28 minutes or so, I'm guessing. 27, 28.
We exported as a wave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hope I'm not too echoey, because I don't know what to do about it if I am.
Put some more furniture in the room.
But in the direction that I'm in, it's not going to work.
Just stuff in the room like deadened sound, like rugs, couches, chairs, things like that, like things that take sound and just deaden it. Because if I didn't have all the stuff in this room and the floor wasn't carpeted, this room would echo like hell. I basically got a hallway going down to my right here. But because I've got so much stuff in here.
Oh, there.
So we're going to try it next week, same time?
Yeah, I think so. The only problem with the show being short like it is, I don't know if we can get a half hour. So if we hit 25 minutes, I guess I'll be happy. I mean, we could still talk about other things, I guess.
Yeah, it depends on what comes out on the show, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because if it like turns into an action-packed episode this week and there's a lot of stuff going on, then maybe it's something that we want to do. Maybe it'll take 35 minutes to get through, but maybe not. You guys still have your Dropbox?
I'm looking at it now to
Access?
see if I do.
Yeah.
I tried opening it. It's not open. There we go.
Because you guys can't leave until I see your files in there.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm working on it.
But I'm, why is this not? Let's see. Oh, I see.
What was our login for, if you want to send it to me, what was our login for Dropbox?
Oh, hell. I've got it saved, so I don't remember.
It's under the Cinik Radio email address, though, right?
Yeah. Let me look. I might be able to get it.
Brian, you okay? You're staring
Yeah.
at me with that look in your
Yeah,
face.
no, I'm just checking to make you. It should be in the Dropbox. Let me know if you have it. Is for Ozark? Is it? They're releasing like half a season now and half later, right?
Yeah, I looked on IMDb and it looks like
Yeah.
there's going to be another 7 episodes coming.
Oh, okay.
I sent you the password, Joe.
I downloaded the. Where did you send it? Oh,
I
no.
texted it to you.
Okay. Oh, all right. I had it. I was close.
Oh, Ryan's A works now. Did you get your keyboard fixed?
No, I just use there's a keyboard like
Virtual keyboard?
yeah, the virtual key exactly. No, I was it's funny. I was gonna get a new one, and then my job just gave me like a brand new MacBook Pro that I could use. Like, I mean, obviously, when I leave, I have to give it back. But now I have like zero incentive to get a new computer.
Yeah, I have your file.
I got to sign you out of something, IG. Unless is iMac yours?
That's fine. Yeah, you can sign me out of that. Because I'm generally getting it on my PC here, so you can sign me out on the iMac. That's fine. My camera's blocked.
Okay.
So they can't see the camera.
Love you.
Love you too, baby. Because you came up and I wanted a kiss, so I blocked my camera so that I could get a kiss.
Thank you.
What is going on here? Oh, there we go. Whose baby is that?
What baby?
There's a baby in the Dropbox.
Ryan Boba? What baby? What are you fucking talking about? Where are you looking?
Yeah, is it where it said Ryan Boba?
Hold on. I got to log back in there.
Are you in the wrong Dropbox?
I don't think so.
Logged into somebody who's got baby pictures? What the fuck?
No, there's a baby in there.
Like a whole baby?
Yes.
Oh,
A
that
clown
was,
baby.
I put that in there. That's Isabel.
Oh.
She needed a baby picture, and I needed to put it online somewhere for her to be able to get it to her school. So I used that and sent a link to her so she could have someone at her school download it for a screen show when she was graduating.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's Isabel.
Okay.
That's Amy Thompson.
All right, just put Boba in there. So Ryan Boba, my Boba is in there, so you should be good.
Yeah.
This looks completely different.
Yeah, they just changed how it looks. Because, they can, even though things were working just fine, they can't just let it be.
Well, yeah.
Somebody's got to earn their living by doing some of this shit.
Yeah.
Look, it's graphically different now. Isn't it great?
It's not giving me an option to pin Dropbox.
I always just use the web one. Tomorrow when I edit this, I'm probably going to stream editing it too, see if anybody's interested in watching what the fuck goes into editing this shit. Should only be about hour and a half, though, to edit it because we only went 30 minutes, so should be pretty good. Where's OBS? I can go back here. Yay! Did you even see what my stream looked like when you were clicking
No,
around?
I didn't. No, because I just jumped in.
Oh, I was just wondering.
Let me jump to it now.
What's coming out first, Obi-Wan or Andor?
I think Obi-Wan.
think.
Okay.
That's I'm not. I don't know. I'm hoping Andor does well, but I'm not holding my breath for it.
Exactly. I have almost no expectations for that show. It
could
not
just
an
end up
interesting
really
character.
cool, but
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's true. It could be just an excellent show, really well written and everything, or it could be terrible. He was just not a particularly interesting character.
Very cool, IG.
see what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not bad, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, the graphics and stuff. All right, guys, I gotta get to bed. I gotta be up at 6.
All right, cool. All right, well, good. It was fun doing this again. So hopefully, I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, I'll watch it Wednesday, and I'll try to, I'm gonna try to make use of the train ride and start doing something a little productive on it.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to shut this down.
How to shut what down?
My computer on the new Windows. They got rid of the start bar.
The sons of bitches.
yeah. All right. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, see you.
Yeah.
Okay. This is another change that didn't need to happen.
Well, they're trying to make it look the same on tablets and computers. That's what they're trying to do, but I don't know why. They are different things. Tablets are getting really good and really powerful, but there isn't a tablet that can hold a candle to what my computer can do. I don't know. They think they're doing something right.
They're really not, because I have no idea how to shut my computer down now or put it into sleep. I'm gonna have to look it up.
It's funny because I'd have to go enable some settings somewhere on my computer because it said my computer's not eligible. It's not. I don't have enough stuff to be able to upgrade it to 11 because I looked just to see, and it's oh yeah, your computer's not. But I saw some things go and change these settings and do stuff, and then it'll be able. And I'm no, I'm okay. When they figure out their end, that's a stupid setting to have to make work. Plus, like I said, my computer's running great, so I normally have so many things up and running on my computer all at the same time that it's almost not worth my energy to try and change anything.
Were the questions all right?
Yeah, they were good. They were fun.
Oh, I think I found it.
If you get a 5-word answer, then you didn't ask a good question. But if we can talk about it, then you asked a good question.
This feels really like what the Mac was when I owned it. and which is weird with that they would go that route. All right, man. I gotta go.
Yep.
I'll give you a yell tomorrow.
Have a good night's sleep.
You too.
And we're going to end this stream right now. I'll probably be back tomorrow showing you what it's like to edit a podcast so I can put it up live. It's going to change a lot of how it sounds. And if you want to kind of sync them up, just hear when we actually start counting down before we start talking about the content, because there's going to be a little bit of intro music that I mix in. And then there'll be some outro music at the end. And there'll be like gaps and when people step on each other and everything when we're talking. I'm going to take all that out. Just make it sound like a nice, clean conversation. You know, the magic of editing is going to be happening. So, yeah, that's my podcast. 149 episodes, been on every single one. You can go find those at cinicradio.com. There's links to all the episodes, lots of good content, lots of good stuff. Some of them are quite a bit longer, like over an hour for some of the episodes, but there's a lot of fun stuff. So if you want to, go check it out. Other than that, we'll see you later. Keep off my grass. Thanks.